Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
So Wendy has plans to do her podcast in her swanky $4.5 million penthouse, inviting the guests to her home, with one of the first guests being Fat Joe. Wendy is currently managed by her jeweler, Will Shelby, and he seems to be taking the lead on everything. There seems to be a lot of I and me, not really we or Wendy. I don't know about y'all, but when it comes to Wendy, I'm not really sure who she can trust at this point, and I don't really think she knows either. We'll talk about that and so much more, including Kelvin and how he wants to clear up some things. But before we get into that, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any of this tea. Now let's get back into it. So let me preface the conversation by saying this. With the way Wendy Williams is currently being handled, her ex-manager Bernie Young robbing her for thousands of dollars from a credit card account, people currently putting her on camera and in the limelight knowing she's not well, all for monetary gain, I can see why Kevin took the role of being her manager. And that being said, I now realize how devastating it is to put your trust, your love, your whole business into someone's hand and damn near lose your mind after finding out that all of your hard-earned work, blood, sweat, and tears is given to some little teeny bopper who can't hold a candle to you. Wendy, I get it. Now, with that said, I don't trust the people that's currently in Wendy's corner. Tommy has admitted that she isn't well. Kelvin has admitted that she isn't well. Everyone knows that she isn't well, but the show must go on, right? Not the Wendy Williams Show. They now have a podcast that they've named The Wendy Experience. But this podcast will be held inside of her home, where the guests will come to Wendy's house. This will be on camera. Now, if you know anything about Wendy Williams, you do know that she's not really big on the home invites. Now, all of these guests are coming into your home, leaving whatever spirits they done brought in with them, child. This is where Wendy sleeps. This is where she lays her head. This is not typical Wendy Williams. It's just not her. But let's read what The Sun has to say. In an exclusive interview with The Sun, Wendy's manager, Will Shelby, said that the pair are planning to film the podcast called the Wendy Experience Podcast at her swanky penthouse apartment. They also just launched the show's Instagram that shares the same name as its handle. He says, "We haven't taped an episode just yet. Every time we've tried to do so, someone is trying to offer me something so they can partner with us. They've already started the creative process. They're currently eyeing their first guest." He said, "I started the process of considering shooting something with our first potential guest is Fat Joe. He's ideal because he's somebody that she trusts. He's a New York icon, and he was the last person Wendy spoke to, so I figured we should just pick it up from there." As far as the name for the show, Will said the podcast will not just have the audio component, it will be the full Wendy experience. Wendy says podcast, but doesn't really elaborate that it's not going to be a traditional podcast. This is going to be a full podcast show.
Will and I, our partnership, and what the beginning of what we're going to do, podcast, will be with a certain person, and then we will continue podcast. And, honestly, I don't know what podcast is.
I feel like Wendy is a complete experience. That's why the name of her show was the Wendy Williams Experience. He said in reference to the host's New York radio show on WBLS that was the springboard for her foray into television. "I want to shoot everything in her home. I want to get the full Wendy experience. Everything from filming in her glam room or shooting in her kitchen with her favorite chef as they prepare food for her and her guests. I want Wendy to feel like she could be as open and honest as possible, and I want everything to be in her home."
I don't know what podcast is.
Wendy does not need a podcast. Wendy needs help. This woman just is not the Wendy we knew. So to sum everything up and give y'all quick little cliff notes on the rest of the article, Will said that this show will help us know the real Wendy, her favorite color, her favorite food, music that she likes to dance and listen to. And this is the reason why he thinks the video component is so crucial. He said that they're currently in talks with Amazon and Audible, but nothing too concrete quite yet. Now, Will is an entrepreneur on his own, and he has his own management company. He's produced shows before in the past and several music videos. He said that I'm leaning more towards doing it ourselves, but wouldn't mind a management company or production company coming in and helping us out if the figures are correct. Now, Will said that the purple chair will be a big component in the podcast. It signifies an old chapter closing and a new one beginning. By the way, the person that went with Wendy to go get her chair, that big purple chair, was Will. He went with her to go retrieve her other belongings as well. Lastly, I wanted you guys to know that the Wendy show did actually ask Wendy to be a part of the farewell special, and Wendy said, hell no. To the no, no, no. And because Wendy Williams was this no call, no show, I feel like this is part of the reason why the hate train towards Wendy Williams has been running at full speed. They deleted her Instagram, her YouTube, her website, her Twitter. Deadmar Mercury is irritated with Wendy, and although Wendy is saying that they're good, from the looks of it, they are removing this lady's legacy and making sure that when Sherry does start her show, we'll have nothing to compare it to. But in all honesty, there will only be one Wendy Williams. You can remove everything from offline. Wendy is still an icon. No matter how you twist or turn it, Wendy will always be an icon. And another person who feels the same way and wants Wendy to get her just due is her ex-husband, Kelvin Hunter. Kelvin took to his Instagram on Father's Day and had a lot to say. I wasn't able to capture it, but Toxic Diamond did. Shout out to Toxic Diamond. Let me go ahead and show you guys just a few clips. Make sure you check out Toxic Diamond to get the full video. The link will be down below.
As far as my ex goes, I pray. I've tried the best that I've tried to do. I'm just going to give y'all an exclusive that when she was in Florida, she was in the best place she could be. And the devils that be wanted to pull her back up there to manipulate her and get her caught up and stay caught up in the same web that she was caught up in with them demons. And just know that at the end of the day, the health and wellness trip that I'm on, that me and my son are on, we desperately tried to do the best that we could do. But when you got so many people involved and so many demons, it's hard. But I wish her well, and for the most part, she's fine. I'm not happy about how everything had its unceremonious departure. I'm not happy to see my hard work and my efforts and everything that I risked my relationship and my life for go the way it's going and have people do what they're doing. But everything has a reason. And yes, her ex-manager was wild, and he sat in a goddamn room while she sat in another room, naked and throwing up on herself, and he didn't call 911. She was damn near dead. That's Bernie Young, yes. The same man that's accused of fraudulently using her credit card and charging shit, yeah. And, like that. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking to see Deadmar Mercury manipulate and still have meetings with her and give her the wrong impressions while they steer the whole ship and do what they do. The whole reason why this whole money thing is happening with Wells Fargo is because they want to end her contract without any financial obligations. They have not paid any medical bills. That's why I'm suing them. They are doing the most and have done the most. They have gotten in between and gotten in. I'm not gonna take look. I take all accountability for my own indiscretions, and I'm not gonna keep saying that. But the role that Deadmar Mercury played in the integral demise of my relationship, and how no light has been shed on their role as they try to slide someone else into a seat, damn near looking damn near like a person. Their perception of black people and how they want to farm them, so to speak, is deplorable. Their depiction of how they want to appropriate our culture is fucked up. And Jerry O'Connell was not it. They was trying to make Jerry O'Connell it, but he was not it, because the culture existed through the fans, which screamed black. So when they went to go mess with Nick Cannon and failed, let's be clear, that was off the heels of me telling them to go get Nick while Wendy was in rehab. Okay? So they went and got Nick, and Nick failed in Nick Cannon, and off the heels of them fucking with Nick, they got all in it, and Nick fell for it and whatever, and here's the show and whatever, and the show lasted 6 months. But that would not have happened if I didn't tell him to go get Nick while we was desperately dealing with something that was gravely important. And at the end of the day, there was no department like there is for Jimmy Fallon or Ellen DeGeneres or anybody else. There was no department to deal with the issues that were prevalent and damaging, and there was nobody. This was a small cottage company who sat there and exploited everything and not thought about help for anybody. So with that being said, this is what's happening right now. Someone who dedicated and damn near risked everything and lost a lot to build a company for some people who outside of what we did, have not had a hit or a win since South Park. Every fucking show that they tried to do has failed, and that's God's work. That's God's work why that shit failed. So Deadmar Mercury has the wrath of God coming at them for what the fuck they did. So it's not over.
Deadmar Mercury, Kelvin said y'all gonna get it, so y'all better watch your backs, honey. Watch your backs. Anyway, I want to know what you think about everything going on with Wendy. What do you think about this new management she has with Will, as he's her jeweler, now turned manager, now turned podcast creator, Chad? And also tell me what you think about everything Kelvin had to say about everything that's going on with Wendy. Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new episodes.